Welcome. We're about to explore a simple, but honestly a really profound way to transform your classroom. This is all inspired by the work of Dr. Mako, who's the founder of Asidia Basvara in Indonesia. And we're talking about the power of routine. So let's just dive right in with a question I think every single teacher has faced. You ask a student something in English, you know they know the answer, but they just freeze, right? What is happening in that moment? Well, a lot of educational research points to this thing called the affective filter. You can almost picture it like an invisible wall, you know? It's built out of anxiety and self-consciousness. And when that wall is up, it honestly doesn't matter how well a student understands the language. It just stops the words from getting in or from getting out. So the big question is, how do we help our students tear down that wall? How do we lower this filter? Well, the answer is actually simpler and way more powerful than you might think. It really all comes down to creating predictable daily routines. This quote right here just nails the psychology of what's going on. Routines give students this familiar, structured space where it feels easy and, most importantly, safe to participate. When they know exactly what's coming next, their anxiety just plummets, and that affective filter comes way, way down. That's when they feel comfortable enough to take some risks with language. Okay, so we get it. Routines create safety, but how do we make them really, truly engaging? It all starts with one super crucial idea: giving students a sense of ownership. And this is where you can see a real transformation happen. When you start sharing responsibility for how the classroom actually runs, your students stop being just passive learners. They become active stakeholders in their own little community. And we're not just talking about handing out worksheets here. You can assign really meaningful roles that cover, well, everything. From administrative jobs like taking attendance to leading actual learning activities, even maintaining the classroom space and managing the equipment. And this is the perfect tool to make it all happen: a simple jobs board. It's so clear, right? It lists the job, exactly what you have to do, and who's in charge. It creates this amazing transparency and accountability that everyone can see. All right, so now the students have ownership. Let's look at how we can turn these daily routines into a consistent workout for their language skills. Think of it like a daily language gym. And you know what's so great about this? You don't need any fancy or expensive tech. The essential materials are super simple and visual. A big calendar, a basic weather chart, a daily schedule, it helps if it has pictures, and some reusable sentence strips to post key phrases. So your daily routine can follow a really simple, repeatable sequence, something like this. You could start with greetings, maybe move into the alphabet and numbers, then talk about the calendar and the weather, and then you bring it all together in a quick summary. Now, the secret sauce here is using consistent language structures, just like these, and posting them where everybody can see them. This repetition, it's not boring, it's foundational. It's what builds fluency and confidence, little by little, day after day. So we have ownership, we have our language gym. Where is all this practice and responsibility leading? Well, it's leading to what I think is the single most powerful moment you can have in a classroom. Yep, that's it. The ultimate goal of all of these routines is for students to become so familiar, so confident with the whole process that they can actually lead the entire class through it all by themselves. This is the whole leader of the day concept. A student gets to take the pointer and guide their friends through the whole warm-up. And look at what happens to the teacher's role. It totally shifts from being the instructor to being the facilitator. You get to observe, see who's getting it, and spot areas that might need a little more support. See, by creating this safe, predictable, and structured environment, you're empowering your students to practice language naturally. It's not some abstract exercise anymore. They're using English for real, meaningful tasks inside their own community. And that brings us to a final thought from the inspiration for this whole explainer, Dr. Moko. It's a powerful call to action for all of us educators everywhere. Really focus on these foundational early years. This is where that lifelong confidence is built. So, the big takeaway is this: small, consistent, daily routines can lead to absolutely massive gains in student confidence, ownership, and, of course, their language ability. Thanks so much for learning with us today. And we'll leave you with this final question to think about as you plan your next class. What's just one small responsibility that you can hand over to your students tomorrow?